Welcome to the Vodcast. Today, I'm inspired by something I put out on my social media. I put out a video a couple of days ago. And not only did it share something personal about myself, but it also reminds me of something I live by. Have you ever been in a situation where people are having a very bad year and they use this line, I can't wait for this year to be over so I can start off a brand new year, brand new slate, and everything will be perfect, right? And they believe that having a resolution for the new year would offset whatever's happened in the current state or in the current year. I disagree with that. I don't believe you need a new year to change a habit or activate a resolution. You can do it right here, right now. Brand new month, brand new day. Why do we waste time? Now, how does this affect you and I? It affects you and I because we are wasting time when we say we'll wait for the new year to start and then we'll put on a resolution. So my podcast today is talking about resolutions, and you don't need a new year to start a resolution. You can do it right now. It reminds me of a story a couple years back, and I met somebody who really inspired me in the financial sense. And I believe that sometimes as you get older, you need to be around people that inspire you to do better things. Not people who brag about what titles they have, but people who talk about their life experiences and how you can learn from it. And you can meet people who talk about their accolades, or you can talk about people who went through some situations to get the accolades. I'm the person who bends towards people sharing their stories without bragging about what they've got, but sharing how they did it. Because that story can inspire you. And this guy, he inspired me a lot, but he also shared with me his story, and he talked about the life we have right now is governed by time, right? So let me let that sink in for you. The life you and I have, we all have a timer, like our watch is here. We all have a certain allocation of time we have while we are alive on Earth. And we can use the time to add value, or we can waste the time and just let it go by. Remember, you can't buy time. You can't. You cannot. You cannot even rewind time. Now, with that analogy, I'm going to set something in your heart today. You may be saying, Deon, well, if you don't believe on a resolution, what do you believe on? I believe that every single one of us have habits, but we need to be self-aware of these habits that affect how we think, how we behave, and how we live out our lives. Maybe you're dealing with making bad choices, and you continuously make bad choices, but you don't know how to deal with it. Well, first step is you need to confess where the problem is, and then try and find ways of how you can better yourself. As we get older, a lot of us tend to relax on the fact that we can't learn anything. And I love learning things all the time. I love listening to podcasts. I love listening to stuff online. I love hearing people's stories because it inspires me to do better. And the reason why I'm saying that is that every single moment we are awake, we can look at scrolling on social media, which isn't adding any value in our personal lives, or we can listen to somebody who's actually making sense and take away something from that and apply it in our own lives. Last year on radio, when it comes towards December time, a lot of people talk about New Year, New Me. And on radio, I stated that, what's this nonsense about New Year, New Me? You are new every single day, and you don't need a new year to make a change in your life. Because every single second, every single day that you waste is getting you closer towards the day you are no longer here. So if you can make it worth something, you can change your habit right here, right now. Right here, right now. You don't need to wait for next year. Now imagine if you are watching this podcast or listening to this podcast in the real time it was released. It's the first week of September. You got 4 months left for the year, and you're saying, I can't wait for the new year to start. This year has been so bad. I had horrible friendships that break up. I had relationship issues. I had financial issues. I just can't wait for the new year to start. Well, if that is you, let me just tell you, you're going to waste 4 months of a good year built on a few things that you could fix. So how do you fix it? If you had relationships that ended, it is life. You can't change that. If you had friendships that just fizzled off, it's also life. It is what it is. But people need to learn that the time you waste procrastinating on what you lost, you're not focusing on where you can be and what you have learned. And I think that I don't know all the answers to everyone's situations, but I can tell you mine, right? When I was 18 years old, I had two choices. I could have fallen flat because there were some situations that happened in my family which made me decide study or get into radio broadcasting, earn an income, and make something of my life. No matter what I did in my life, I followed the plan that God had for me in my life, because the plan that I had in a different career was not really working out. And even though everything fell apart in my life, I was rock bottom, no clothes, nothing to my name. We barely made rent to live where we were living, my mom, dad, and I. But I never gave up hope. I remember praying and asking God, what is your plan for my life? Where do you see me going? Because I don't know. And no matter what I did, everything pointed back to this microphone. I'll never forget the prayer I asked. I said, I don't want to waste time. I need you to teach me what is your plans you have for my life. And whatever your plans are for my life, please show it to me, because my plans are not working. And as soon as I opened up in prayer and vulnerability, everything I asked in that way came into fruition. Like a podcast, a microphone is here. I started emceeing into a department store. I was announcing specials, and then I got into radio. Remember, if you don't know my story, I started radio when I was 15. And even though I was in school, I never took radio seriously. Even though God brought this microphone to me, I didn't take it seriously. I was like, this is just something that's passing by. But the more I gave into the microphone, the more blessings were opening up. And that could be you now. You saying, okay, Deon, I want to start afresh. How can I do it? First step, pray and ask God for guidance. Second step, understand where your flaws are. Third step, remember one thing. Everything happens when the season is right. You can't be impatient and be negative about something you want in your life. You got to speak positive affirmations for the things you want. So when the due season does come, you'll be happy you had that mindset. So I had to wait a very long time to get to where I am today. But I'm grateful that God's plans for my life regarding following radio broadcasting was the right choice, because I'm not in a phase of regret, but I'm in a phase of saying, hey, I'm grateful and I'm blessed to be where I am right now. If I never got into broadcasting, I wouldn't have had a podcast and I wouldn't be talking to you right now. So every single thing in life we need to be grateful for. So how does one put this all into perspective right now? Right now, you could be saying, I need to change a career. I need to find a partner. I need to have all these goals right out. Write them out. Then put in the work as to how you can get it. You can't say you want to be rich. You got to say, I want to have a good job so I can get the things that I need while I'm living on earth. You can't say, I want the perfect partner if you can't offer the perfect partner a good version of yourself. A lot of people want a decent person, but are you that as well? Those are questions we can talk about for a long time, but we're not going to talk about it here on the podcast. So forecast is, look at yourself and say, what can you work on? Then put the plans into action. But don't waste time. You don't need a new year to change something in your life right now. Don't waste the time. Make the plans, put it into action, and work towards it. All of us have the ability to do great things on earth while we are alive. But it takes focus, takes planning, takes dedication, and it takes prayer to start that. I hope that this can benefit many of you who are listening to the podcast or watching the podcast. But it's very easy to get distracted by what the world focuses on. If you're around people that is negative towards your goal, stay away from them. I stayed away from anybody who criticized where I needed to be because I trusted God's plan for my life. And I'm not kidding, get all religious on you. I'm just telling you a true story. that I believed in God's plan for my life. And I believe there's power in prayer. And if that worked for me, it can work for you. You just have to have the ability to have faith and believe in God's timing for your life. And that pretty much doesn't need a resolution. It just needs a simple adjustment in your mind that says, I believe, I want to adjust, and I'm praying about it. That is it. Hope you enjoyed the D-Word podcast today. If you did, be a blessing and share this to someone. Take care. Until next time.